holiday period, we'll be doing a project for an organization called POOPS. I hope you guys all know what they do. Anyone not know?
No, actually.
But for the viewers online, let's just talk about what they do. So basically, they're an organization that has volunteers that take care of pets for all the people, but also like differently abled people. So as we all know, everyone loves dogs and cats, but some people are not able to take care of them anymore, like say walking the dog or taking them to the vet. So these volunteers basically do that for them. So the issue they had was they couldn't get funding because they didn't have accurate statistics. So hopefully this app will just bridge that. So yeah, project overview. So to improve communication of volunteers back to the org of their volunteering activities. And yeah, developers will create a mobile-first web app for POOPS volunteers to keep track of the volunteering statistics and report any issues encountered during the sessions. For example, like a dog goes crazy and like bites someone, they'll report that. So this is the minimum viable product. So first of all, volunteers should be able to log in using their social media credentials. So like Google, Facebook, and we also think of well not thinking, but we will have to implement mobile login too. Because some of the volunteers are a bit on the older side who don't have social media. So yeah, and missing personal profile data should be collected from the volunteers' socials. So the application should be able to log the volunteers' activity time and associated pet information. So some clients have different, like a number of pets. So they might have 2 dogs and 1 cat or something like that. So yeah, the contact page kind of works like the iOS contact page where it has a list of clients and their available pets. And the user profile should be the first item on the list, so the personal user. A visit page that shows a summary of the visits and a list of clients whom the user has visited. The visit page should also be populated automatically after the user selected a client on the contact page. And the use of modals and forms, so to raise an incident report and to log a vet concern. So these are the existing features. So we've kind of organized them by I, meaning that it's already on the issues page, and PR, meaning it has a pull request, so meaning that someone's already worked on it. So yeah, the home page, the summary dashboard isn't working yet. The select client list is not pulled from the user's client list. The submit, so visit is not reflected in the history page, that has a PR. The summary dashboard should be updated for every new visit added, and it should also reuse the visit form component, which our lovely Dylan wrote. Thank you, Dylan. So visit page, the page is too empty for new users, so we're thinking of adding like a cute graphic or something like that, but you guys can decide. Summary dashboard should be updated after every new visit. Report buttons do not work, but there is a work in progress PR. So work in progress means that there's a PR, but we're not merging that yet. They just want it for the deployment, essentially. So they want to make the visit form component reusable, like I said before, and the visit form should also have some client-side data validation, so that's an issue there. And the ability to attach photos, so if whatever reason, like a dog does bite someone, you need a photo of like the guy bleeding or something. Yeah, that's what the client wanted. So it's more existing features, the contact page, so page is also too empty for new users, and the user profile is also missing. But we do have the forms for that, so I think that's just should be pretty easy. The login page, so phone login is also missing. Someone was working on it, but there was no pull request for it. So feel free anyone to take it because he is not here this time around. And the second login page to fill up additional user info is missing, so for whatever reason they can't populate that information from the social media, they should be like, oh, we're missing your last name, something like that. So documentation and testing, we need configuration setup backup, so admin access like docs. Whoever's good at writing documentation is good at testing. Feel free to do that. I started a bit of it last time, but if you want to take it over from me, I won't complain. And Firebase, so Firebase is handled by our lovely Nick over there. If you want to work with Firebase, talk to him. But yeah, you got to add an admin role and data validation. So this time around, because we felt like there wasn't enough features to justify the whole 12 weeks, we decided to talk to the client and add more features. So the main one is actually reporting. So, you know, obviously the big reason why they were doing this was so they could get more funding because they're poor or something like that. And the reporting should be should be admin only, so there's no really any fancy UI. Like, you know, it could just be queries. And per volunteer should, like, just statistics would be something like total number of visits, minutes, kilometers, averages, and et cetera, et cetera. Should be all there. Oh, so this is the Figma. So we had people work on the Figma last time around. I don't know if people have used Figma before, but essentially this is how the app should look like. It's very cute, I know. But yeah, it should be on the GitHub wiki. So if you guys want to look at it, it'll be there. Next, so this is the tech stack. I'm sure you guys are all aware of it by now, but the front end is using Next.js, React.js, TypeScript, and Tailwind CSS. Or the back end is Firebase, authentication, Cloud Firestore, which will be using a NoSQL database. Testing will be Cypress. I don't know why Jest is there. I know we do have the Jest config there too, but I'm more partial to Cypress. But if people want to use Jest, go for it. So this is basically how the front end and back end will be split. So absorb it all in. Whichever you think interests you, you can go for it. But you can always change. So if you think something's too hard, just talk to me or Nick or other people and switch it around. And yeah, so this is an existing code base. So I will be running it through it with everyone. And any questions can be directed to committee helpers or people who have worked on this before. So James, Dylan, Zach. Yeah, Zach. And we understand it's actually kind of scary because Nick and I, when we first joined CFC, we worked on existing code base, so we worked for Food Bank. And I think at the start of that project, we had like 20 members or something like that. But at the end of it, there was like 6 of us left because everyone else left because it was like kind of scary to work on existing code bases. So we understand how you'd feel and especially if you guys have never used TypeScript before Next.js, we understand it's hard, so feel free to approach us if you need any help. But yeah, I personally promise I'll be there to help. But if I'm not, please don't hate me. So yeah, we'll just go through a brief Codebase demo right now. Nice, Tara. Can everyone see my screen? Yeah. Okay, so this is the code base. Why is this open? Doesn't matter, but essentially this is how the website looks like right now. So we have the homepage. It has this little form which you can put in all the. So commute method is how the volunteers get to the location. So they also wanted statistics for that, but so you can either walk to the house, which I don't think is very likely, but it'll be driving, say like a 10-kilometer drive, and then it'd select the client. So for example, Jeffrey, you'd say it's a walk. So you'd enter like you walk the dog for like 4 kilometers or something like that. Then you have this little like calendar thing, which you can select the date and the start time, and a little duration, because apparently they didn't really want extremely accurate statistics. They just wanted like general, so like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, which is a bit weird, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, after that's all done, you should be able to submit it, but this doesn't actually send it anywhere right now. So this is the visits page. Wow. So this form here basically does the exact same thing as the homepage, but it's a completely different component. So this time around, we'll be deleting the homepage component to use this one instead, because this one's actually connected to the Firebase. It's connected to the backend. So these are the different types of, these are the different visits across the time. We have these little buttons here, which are the register vet concerns. So for whatever reason, so they actually don't work right now, but if for whatever reason there's a vet concern, then you just register it here. And yeah. So this is the contacts page. You can add contacts this way. I'm not sure. Nick, is this connected to the Firebase yet? Yes. It is, right? Yeah, so when we add something, so for example, let's do Rupert, who, I remember your last name. Rupert, phone number, email Rupert @.com, Rupert, Hags, client, no, I'll put volunteer, because he's a nice guy. He lives at Armadale. He has a pet called Nick. loves Nick. So yay. And we go back, it should be there. Yay!
And you refresh it, it'll still be there.
And if we refresh it, it'll still be there because it's connected to the Firebase. So yeah, that's about it for how it looks right now. But this is basically how the Codebase is. So I don't know if everyone's familiar with how React applications work, but I'm just going to go through it anyway. So it's split between components. So components are what can be reused across different pages. So for example, we have like the header, which is this thing up here. So that's the header. So obviously you want it to appear on every page, right? And it's kind of annoying to like hard code it like every single time at each different page. So we just have a component which we can put in the app.
Wait, isn't that the nav bar?
No, nav bar's on the bottom.
Oh,
This would be the nav bar, yeah.
Yeah,
So nav bar, login. So we actually disabled login right now, even though it's done, because it's kind of annoying for developers to log in every time if they want to work on it. So we disable it for now. What else? Search bar is the search bars in visits and contacts. UI, not too. Oh, UI is the alerts. So alerts are this new thing that someone worked on before we finished the last time around. But they basically work like little modals that will pop up on the bottom. So like, I don't know if you guys use PayPal, but when you pay something on PayPal, it'll just slide up instead to like click confirm or something like that. And pages, so obviously we have the index, which is the home page, then we have the profile page. So you can't actually access your own profile page, but you can access the profile pages of your clients. So that's something that needs to be worked on. We have the incidents page too, which has nothing on it, apparently, but don't worry about it. Visit pages, which has a lot of stuff. Good job, Dylan. And yeah, that's about it right now. So the one thing that you shouldn't worry about is probably anything else except, Firebase. So if you end up working on Firebase, you'll probably need to talk to Nick about it. So if you have any interest in backend, make sure you talk to Nick about it or talk to myself about it. But yeah, that's about it. So we'll be using Yarn.
Do we have the Firebase environment?
He'll have to add you, yeah. So please don't use NPM because we don't have a package-lock. We only have package.json. And it's very annoying to have to delete the package-lock every single time. So use Yarn.
It's getting old.
Just add it again, no?
Yeah, we did it last time, but it was like not working for some reason.
I'll see you at the end of January.
See you later.
Bye.
See you, June.
Have fun in India. Bye. Have fun.
See you, man. Take care. Enjoy the projects, guys. I'll see you at the end of Jan.
You can see us never. What a vice president, you know?
So how many people here like doing CSS, like front end stuff? Okay, cool. So we won't be doing CSS. We'll be using something called Tailwind, which is, I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's kind of like a library where instead of writing out all the stuff yourself, you just do it inline.
Oh, it's kind of like Bootstrap, like.
Kind of, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to use. I love Tailwind.
Do you want to show an example of that?
So I think I'll just do it later. Yeah. But yeah, this is the code base so far.
So about the NPM install,
Mhm.
you can't just use NPM install?
Nah, you should use Yarn. Yarn's just faster than NPM.
Does everyone have
Right.
Node and Yarn installed?
Yeah.
I have Yarn installed.
Okay. You can just install it with npm i-g yarn.
There might be some issues with people's Node versions too. Because yeah.
Which version are we using?
I think we're using 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like up to 19 point whatever.
Don't worry about it. You can just switch it. Yeah, you can just switch
It's
it.
only if you're using like 12 or something.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's go back to the presentation. So teams. You will initially be split into teams of 3. So each team should work on an issue together, and if you are struggling, make sure you seek help from your team members. So you should communicate with your teams, and you can let me know if you guys have a preference of who you want to work with. And so teams are more for the start of the project while you get familiar with the project. So you're free to actually work on stuff solo if you want to. It's not, you don't have to stay in a team. And Git. Hopefully everyone here is familiar with Git too. Yeah, but I'm going to be going through like a short Git or workflow demo too anyway. But yeah, so this is how the workflow will work. So first of all, you'll make sure you can access the repo, and you go to the issues, and you can pick an issue and assign yourself to it, and a branch will actually automatically be created for you. So the branch name will look something like that. It'll have an I, then it'll have the issue number. So for example, 100. And then the issue name would be like create a navbar, so it would be I2-create a navbar. And yeah, so a pull request. So a pull request is when you feel like A, you've either finished your issue, or B, you just want to see how it looks when you deploy it. So we have a Vercel deployment set up where every PR will actually have a little snapshot of how the website will look like. But if you don't want it to be merged out, you can just add a working in progress, so a WIP in front of your pull request, and we'll know it means that you're still working on it. So yeah, commit. So small commits are always better than large commits. Just remember that. Peer coding. So peer coding is when you're coding with your teammates and a friend, and it's actually a very good way to learn because you can ask people for help. Jerry will usually be here too. You can always ask him for help too. Looking at memes, but don't worry about it. And code reviews. So everyone is actually free and encouraged to do code reviews. Don't be afraid to do code reviews because you actually learn while you're reviewing other people's code because you might be like, oh, that's an interesting way of doing it.
How much did you learn doing code reviews?
Not a lot, actually, because I'm just that good already. I learned the most when Jerry code reviewed me when I was my first time doing this. He like screamed at me and stuff. It's pretty good.
It makes you seem like I'm abusive.
You are abusive.
Fuck you.
So yeah, so more information can be found on the repo. So the wiki. So I guess we'll do the workflow demo right now. No, we can use yours. I just need to make sure if I remember the code. The tailwind is a bit annoying. Are people still on the Discord? Cool. Okay, can people see my screen? So first of all, like I said, you go to the Issues tab. So it's up here. You click Issues, and I set up a little issue for this demo. So it's called Button Demo. I'm going to assign, so I'm on Nick's computer, so I'll be assigning Nick to it. But it's actually me, and then you see it says a branch has been created. So yay, this branch has been created, and I can go back to Git. I just go Git, checkout, then what was it, I36? I125, never mind. 125, button demo. And I'm on this branch now. So for this demo, I just go back to issues and I'll say a button that should change its text when clicked. So I'll be creating a component for this. Folder, button, new file, button.tsx. So a component is basically something that can be reused across different areas, I guess. So are people familiar with how TypeScript components are created? So-and-so? Yep. Copilot? Oh my god, okay. Let's just use Copilot. No, so, okay. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm creating a file which will let me call it across other files in order to use it. So I'll ignore the CSS for now, but props dot button label. Coolios. And you have to export it so other files can see it. And yeah, let's go to index now. Where should I put it? Just put it in here, create a new div, and button. So when you import something, it will actually import it up here. So it says import button from the component, so the component I just created. And then, so I gotta create this to const. What's the fucking syntax? Oh, yeah. Button state. So I just want to have a simple button. When I click, it'll change from true to false and vice versa. Set button state equals use state. So boolean false. So does this make sense to people? When I click set button state, it should just be the negative of, so it should just be not what it currently is. So if it's true, it'll turn false. If it's false, it'll turn into true. And yeah. So the button I had in my props, I had the handler, so what it should do, and the button label, so what it's called. Sorry? Oh. So it should call this, and then
What's value? Is that the type? Declaring type and handle button stage there?
yeah. So this is just Nick's
Oh, that's just
formatting.
settings, yeah.
It's just his formatting. It's just
Yeah.
how he likes doing it. So you don't actually have to do it for this. But TypeScript is different because you have to declare the types for pretty much everything, right? So that's how TypeScript works.
Can you specify anything else like name?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Does it have to be value?
For this?
Yeah.
No. So you don't actually have to put anything there.
Yeah.
It's just Nick for some reason.
Oh.
His formatting does it. Yeah.
Yeah, some ID, text editor does. Yeah.
Dude, I'm doing something.
That's a feature in settings that you can turn it on. What's formatting? It's not a format, it's a setting. It's one of the features inside it as well. Yeah, you can probably enable it if you want.
That's just like prettier and all that stuff as well.
No, it's a individual.
I'm just asking in general to you guys, like,
Oh yeah,
like
it's prettier and yes.
So I think it may be confusing for someone that's never done TypeScript.
It's kind of a learn as you go. Like I really, with TypeScript, I kind of just learned as I went. I just had to basically think of it kind of like Java, I guess. You know, in Java, you guys have to like declare what type it is. So like a number is an int, and et cetera, et cetera. So for example, up here, I declared this as a boolean. And then over here, I didn't really declare any types, but yeah, so button label is a string, et cetera, et cetera. So it won't understand if you don't declare what type it is. Because if I'm correct, it's just not, because how it works is it converts it into JSX. So TypeScript converts it into JSX, and if you don't declare it, some things can go wrong, essentially. So for example, if you declare a const as a string, you cannot change it to an integer later on. So yeah, so I didn't put any CSS, but it's a button. When I click false, it turns into true. When I click true, it turns into false. And then yay, it's all done. And now I can commit it. So I'll go get.add, get commit, number button, finished. What the fuck is this, Nick? This is decode.
What's the decode?
Just username.
No, it's not.
Okay, git push.
Did you commit it?
Yeah. Button.
Can you press the buttons?
Sorry.
Is that better?
Yep.
And now we just git push. And if I go to the GitHub repo now,
Edge user. Shampoo.
you'll see how it says button demo had recent pushes, and I can just go to that and be like, yay, cool, my thing popped up. Now I was going to compare and pull requests. So that was what I was talking about before, a pull request, and I can create a pull request, right? Yeah, you're going to have to fill this out and stuff like that. You know, you can tick. So this pull request is a issue number. This works by smoke testing. So Vercel will actually build this website, and in a while I can click it and it will actually be live. So it's actually going to take a while, but yeah. So after that, you can request reviewers. I don't know why Alison is there, but she's not here this time around. So I'm going to request Jerry. I'll request Jerry to code review it. But yeah, if Jerry says it's good to go, there will be a little button here that says merge pull request.
Yes.
And when you merge it, it'll go to main, and you're done with the issue. Yay. But yeah, that's about it. Sorry, we didn't really practice this one. I hope that wasn't too confusing for anyone.
Has anyone not used Git or GitHub before? No. Should be
Has
fine.
anyone ever done this before, like pull requests and issues and stuff like that? Yeah. Good stuff. So yeah, if you guys have never done it before, I recommend trying it out with your to-do list app. If you guys have made that, if not, go make it, because I'll be going through it this week. Jerry will be going through it.
Wait, what?
Yes, I've been listening to you to help me.
Sorry, Jim. Yeah, with the issues, are you referring to like, you know how like GitHub has like a Kanban style thing where you do like in progress, completed, finished for issues? Yeah, exactly, right. Is that what you mean when you say like issues, like you open an issue? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This one's good.
So I think that's like a new. Why is this so ugly, Nick?
Oh,
Oh, is
dark
this
mode.
your dark mode always?
that one. Well, I'll turn it off for now.
So yeah, so this is live now. Yay! And we can see the button. True, false, true, false, true, false. But yeah, that's how it works. So that's how a bit of your process will probably look like. But like everything in software, it's not always going to be this easy. There's going to be a lot of issues that you're going to have to work around. There's going to be a lot of mean code reviewers who might say your code is not up to standard. But don't let that discourage you, just learn from it, okay? Thank you. All right, back to the slides. We have this thing we call stand-ups. So we do stand-ups today. So we do stand-ups on Saturdays, but we also do it on Wednesdays. So around 6 or 6:30 p.m. we do like the Wednesday stand-ups, but can probably change that if not everyone is free. Is anyone not free for this time? No? Okay, all good. And yeah, so finally, make sure you have fun, because you know you're here to have fun, but you're also here to learn. But have fun. Fun's more important. I had a lot of fun when I first joined, and I hope you guys have the same amount of fun as I did. So, additionally, it is normal to feel intimidated or out of your depth. I still feel very intimidated by this code base, but I always make sure to let people know. So I have a good support group. I have Nick who helps me out. I have Jerry who also helps me out. But yeah, join our club. Make sure you join our club. But yeah, have fun. Thanks, guys.